Well, the big queen finally arrived home. We can have our podcast now. Are you ready, queen?
Yes, dear.
Hello again. This is the Pain and Anger comedy podcast. CJ Haddock and show producer H2 Helen Haddock. The queen has finally arrived home.
Listen, I have things to do, people to see. I can't just sit at home and be miserable all the time.
I do that, and that's a fulfilling life. I don't understand why you can't. All right, today. This is Saturday, March 18th, by the way. 2017 in the year of our Lord. We're going to talk about apathy, because that's one of my strong suits. It's St. Patrick's Day. We'll talk about stupid March Madness, NCAA basketball. We'll talk about blizzards in March. We'll talk about annoying UPS guys. The Pain and Anger Comedy Podcast News Brief. And yet another relationship quiz where Helen will prove she really doesn't know me and made a huge mistake getting married to me.
It sounds like nobody's safe this week.
No, no one is safe this week. So buckle in, boys and girls. The Pain and Anger Comedy Podcast starts right now. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Helly.
Hi, guys. How are you?
I said hi, Helly. They didn't say hi. I said hi. Hi, Helly. And you just blew right past me.
Well, you know, I've learned to selectively hear when it comes to you.
Let's try it again, Miss Manners. Hi, Helly.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you, darling love bug?
Well, now that the big queen is home from her nail polish, nail thing, and lunch with the girls.
Hey, listen. I have something you don't. They're called friends.
What do girls talk about, really?
Everything.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Everything.
You evil bastard men. You know, our peppy bastard husbands.
Okay.
We talk about lots of things. Basically, we go there, we vent, we recharge, and we come home to battle another day with our husbands and boyfriends.
Recharge. So far, honey, your voice looks pretty good on the old meter.
Because I cannot stand you complaining yet another thing about yet another thing, which is my voice.
Yeah, well.
This is the voice you fell in love with.
That's what I do. Complain.
Yes.
Listen, I wasn't even necessarily planning to have you here for this first topic because it's a topic I don't know that much about, and I don't think you know anything about it, and that's March Madness NCAA basketball. Helen, how are you doing with your bracket so far?
Oh, my brackets are awesome. My top 3 or 4 teams have been knocked out already, and I'm just ready to roll with this March Madness.
Helen, you're full of shit, aren't you?
I absolutely am.
There's not a bracket in this entire house, is there?
No, I don't really follow it. I'm not a huge basketball person.
Yep.
You know, it's just really not my thing. It's, you know, I know that a lot of people are really into it. Some guys at work were talking about filling out group brackets and.
Well, Big Papa did a little bit of research this week. I did some research. I already said that.
Yeah.
Let me just gather my research. There's not a lot of interest here in the house.
No.
On the March Madness.
No, there
Madness.
isn't.
Everybody thinks they're going to be the successful picker of this year's tournament brackets, and of course, whoever picks brackets correctly in a certain group of people called pools, usually that they assemble by office or school or whatever. You know, they win all the money, and everyone has fancy of big bags of money in their head, but. Big Papa did his research, and of course, whenever I can stamp out any optimism or hope in the human condition, I feel like that's one of the things I do. I'm like one of the horsemen.
Do you feel like that's the reason you were sent to Earth?
I'm the Grim Reaper of pessimism and apathy.
No, I think you're the Grim Reaper of optimism.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I'm a Grim Reaper of optimism. I actually did even research on apathy today, which we'll get to later. But anyway, here's the deal. There is currently a disagreement in the scientific community about your chances of filling out a completely successful bracket. But no matter what number you use, sports fans, boys and girls, men and women of all ages, you have no shot. One school of thought says you have a 1 in 9.2 quintillion chance of filling out an absolutely correct bracket.
quintillion?
Yes, that's a 9.
Holy shnikes.
That's a 9 with 18 zeros after it.
Yikes. I wouldn't mind that in my bank account, but geez, not as my odds of getting something correct.
There's a dude at DePaul University, though, who is more of an optimist. He says your actual odds of filling out a successful bracket are actually only 1 in 128 billion. 128 billion is way better than 1 in 9.2 quintillion. But there is as I said, a dispute in that number. But either number sucks, is my point. Either number sucks. The number sucks, and why are you wasting your time thinking that you're going to successfully fill it out?
I'd like to know when and how this got started. Was it just like people were bored, and in March they were trying to pick out who is going to make their way to the national championship? Or
there's always, the brackets have been around as long as the tournament has been around. Mm-hmm. And back when I cared about life, I used to fill them out.
When dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Back even when I was in school, graduate school, I would fill them out. I would watch TV. It would be interesting. The early round games would be interesting, and that would be fun. But
that's
what's
like preseason hockey?
What's the point of living? Really, is that's where the brackets take me. Why are you filling them out? What are you gonna do? What's the point of living? Why even live?
Okay, so you took from March Madness. You try to translate that into why people should live.
Yeah, no, I translate it into why I should live. What's the point of it all? And that'll get us into apathy in a minute or two. But they're long odds. Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, he's offering $1 million per year for life to anybody who could even pick the Sweet 16 correctly. That means just get to the quarterfinals.
Has nobody done that? Is it that difficult to pick out who hits the Sweet 16?
Warren Buffett is a quintillionaire, to use that number. He didn't get to be a quintillionaire by being a dummy. He knows how hard it is to fill it out correctly, even to get to the Sweet 16. He knows, and that's why he makes an offer. It sounds great, but he'll never have to pay that because there are just millions and millions and millions of entries that...
Do you actually have to submit this somewhere?
Well, if you have an office pool, you submit it in your office.
Oh.
You can submit it online.
You just have to prove to Warren Buffett that, hey, I did this ahead of time?
No. That's only for people in his company.
Oh.
His company pool. But I don't know if his company pool is open or not. But
that's a hell of a pool.
He's not a dumb guy. The truth of the matter is, since 2014, millions of entries are busted within 31 hours of the start of the tournament. So that's basically within the first 2 days of the tournament.
Well, sure. Anything can happen. It's just like a hockey game. The Flyers did beat the Penguins the other day, so anything's possible in this life.
I'm not even bringing that up because that also reminds me of what the point of winning and living is, too. So we're going to skip right over that. But you got no chance, and it just reinforces how life is pointless.
Yes.
I should work a suicide hotline.
No, you should be like one of those people who, do you remember in the old Charlie Brown commercials, Peanuts, where Lucy used to have a stand and it would say psychiatric help 5 cents or something? You should man the psychiatric stand.
Yeah, I probably should.
Yeah.
So anyway, Warren Buffett's not a dummy. There's a good article also on Sports Illustrated online about why not to waste your time with brackets. And one of the reasons I thought was a good one, it was if you don't have a bracket, you get to root for all these bizarre underdog teams in the first round, which is really the fun of the tournament.
Oh.
And another reason the guy says you shouldn't do it, the article is on SI.com, written by Rohan Nadkarni, Nadkrni. A funny little piece. He also says that, the annoying person in your office who won't shut up about their fantasy team? Bracket people are just like that, except for some reason, they also sprinkled some cocaine in their morning coffee. For whatever reason, brackets, he says, attract the casual fan, and there's nothing worse than the casual fan coming into the office every tournament day, beaming with pride for picking an upset based off which mascot was cuter.
That's why I would pick a team.
Yeah, well,
I'd pick it for the colors. I'd pick it for the mascot because I'm looking at some of these teams or some of these schools, and I've never even heard of them.
Yeah, that's kind of the fun of the opening rounds. There's sometimes crazy upsets. But now there is one exception to this whole I hate March Madness stuff, and that is Northwestern University Wildcats. They're a nice story because it's their first appearance in the NCAA tournament, I think ever, but they are sort of the sweethearts of the of the whole tournament. And today, I think Saturday, what is it, the 18th of March, today they play, they're an 8 or 9 or a 10 seed, and they play a number 1 seed. They play Gonzaga this afternoon later, and because Queenie had to get her nails done, I probably won't be able to see the start of that game. Thanks, Helen.
You're welcome, Serga.
But also, the thing about Northwestern is Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I knew you were going to say this. How did I know this?
Who is a cutie. She's a Northwestern alum. Her husband, Brad, I can't think
Hall.
of his, Brad Hall is. And actually, they have a son who plays, who's on the Northwestern basketball team. So there are tons of crowd shots of her during the games. I have a feeling today, though, going up against Gonzaga, she might be disappointed. And, you
never know. It's the thrill of the victory, right?
Helen, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, much like you, has a certain old lady attractiveness to them. That's really one of the things I like about you.
I'm really surprised that you say that, honey, because, I thought senior citizens weren't attracted to people that are their age.
You have just like Katharine Hepburn. You, Katharine Hepburn, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, you age well. Mm-hmm. Anyway, their opening round game.
Talk to me about that in 13 years when I'm your age.
Oh, man. Anyway, in Northwestern's opening round game, I did get sucked into that too. I watched that. And there were 6 lead changes in the last minute 30. Northwestern won, and as I said, that was probably Wednesday or Thursday, and they're playing again today. But that's it for March Madness. If you're a basketball fan, rewind the podcast and listen to the last 5 or 10 minutes or so, and you'll get your fix of March Madness and insanity. All right, Helen.
Yes, dear.
I said the show is about apathy. I've been doing a lot more research for the podcast lately. It makes me feel more authoritative.
Doesn't really, because see, when you're researching your podcast is when you're complaining to me, I'm working. And meanwhile, I'm working 8, 10, 12-hour days on my feet, and you're
that is work, Helen.
grumbly complaining.
I am a knowledge worker.
No, you are doing what you enjoy, which is the podcast. I enjoy
the podcast. I don't enjoy preparing for the podcast. And if you should be able to appreciate the difference there.
I don't think so, because the whole thing is something that you really enjoy. So don't crouch at me when you're like, oh, I worked too. And when I say, hey, where's my meal, husband? Then, you can, have a meal prepared when I get home.
Listen, woman, don't tell me what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy.
I'm going to lay the smackdown on you, really.
Anyway, Psychology Today Online. In an article from April of last year, says the following. I love it so much. True, apathy is a feeling, but it's also an attitude. And sadly, that attitude is one of indifference, unconcern, unresponsiveness, detachment, and dispassion. Who's that sound like, Helly?
Yours truly?
You mean me?
Yes.
Apathetic individuals are easily identified by their very passivity, demotivated and lacking enthusiasm. They just don't care enough, and frankly, they don't care that they don't care.
I don't think that that's you to a certain extent. I think you care, but you start caring in a way that's very different. In other words, that you care that you care, and that makes you mad.
I don't care what you just said, because
yes,
I don't care.
Yes, you don't care. This is you. If you had a theme song, it would start.
The truth is, maybe, Helen, if you want to get deep and psychological, maybe I do care.
That's what I just said to you.
But I'm trying to hide the fact that I care.
Maybe if you listen every once in a while, you would hear that that's exactly what I just told you.
Maybe if you would listen once in a while, you would hear that's exactly what I just told you. And so...
Here we go. Philosophies by CJ.
The foundation of apathy has been laid, ladies and gentlemen. So I can now discuss with you an interaction I had with a very talkative UPS guy. Now, I love UPS. I love the USPS. I love FedEx.
You're an equal opportunity mail delivery lover.
I love them all. But you know what, fellas and gals out there? Your job is to deliver the package and then to go deliver someone else's package.
Mm-hmm. I have friends who are postal workers and UPS people, so you should watch.
All right, I'm being careful.
Yeah.
You just give me the package. You don't need to explain to me why. Good job, Helen, drinking away from the microphone there. Excellent work, honey.
Are you being facetious?
No, that was good.
Okay.
You don't need to explain to me why a package came at a certain time or why we need extra zip code digits. I'm apathetic. I don't care that I don't even care.
You care that you care, but
I mean, I care about getting my package.
Right.
Package. I care about getting my package.
All right, let's not talk about your package.
Do
here,
you
'cause
care
this is a G-rated podcast
about my package, Helen? I'm talking about parcel packages.
Your parcel post.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very excited about you getting your package.
I care that it arrives. I just don't care why it arrives or how it arrives.
Okay.
Could you just give me the package and please,
Could you get to the point of this story? Because I'm sure our listeners are like, "Rah."
That is the point of the story. The story has no point. The point is I'm apathetic towards very friendly UPS personnel, some of whom like to chat it up after they deliver the package. And I'm busy doing other stuff or thinking about other stuff. Anyway, I don't want to sound like a jackass.
Too late.
And here's another thing, Helen. Helen bought me a nice pair of sneakers for Valentine's Day. Here's another slice of apathy. These sneakers came with an owner's manual.
It's just like shampoo that comes with directions.
You got to be kidding me, ladies and gentlemen.
Do not put in your eyes. Or, it's the scissors that say do not,
Let's, as long as we're all here together, gang, let's write an owner's manual for a pair of sneakers together, shall we? Step 1, put them on. Step 2, tie them. Step 3, walk and or run.
Step 4, don't fall.
Why do I need a book, an owner's manual?
Well, they want to make sure that, you don't put them on your ears and use them as earmuffs.
I mean, a lot of the shoe companies, a lot of the upper end shoe companies like to think of their shoes as technology, but they're just kind of little boxes for your feet so you don't, have to run bare feet in the street.
For some people, they're scent trappers.
Like we're cavemen. That's right. You're not talking about me, though.
No, sweetheart. Never. Never, never, never.
Excellent. Those are just two kind of small real-world examples of where my apathy lies. Mm-hmm. UPS men and
shoes?
Owner's manuals for shoes.
Right.
Let's pay some bills, Helen.
Okay.
Helen, I don't see the point of going anywhere or doing anything or living. But if I did, our activities might include me taking you out to some formal occasion.
Oh.
And that's where, hypothetically in my life, the black tux comes in very handy. Looking great for a wedding or special event has never been easier with thebblacktux.com. With high-quality rental suits and tuxedos delivered to your doorstep, the Black Tux is giving guys a new way to rent. And get this. He leaned into the microphone. The Black Tux offers free home try-on so you can see the fit and feel the quality of your suit months before your event.
You'd look devilishly handsome.
Thank you. The best part is that it is all done online. No trips to the tux shop required. Thebblacktux.com lets you create your look or choose from tons of stylishly selected outfits starting at just $95. These suits have a modern fit and are made from fine Italian wool. The highest quality on the rental market. And if you have any questions or issues, their expert customer care team has your back every step of the way. After ordering, your suit will arrive in 14 days before the event, and that's a full 2 weeks. If you don't know what 14 days is, to try it on to make sure everything fits. And if anything is less than perfect, the Black Tux will send you a free replacement right away. When your event's over, you just drop that sucker back in the mail, stained with beer or wine, whatever it is, and away you go. Shipping is both free and easy. And to get started now, visit thebblacktux.com and experience a new way to rent. Thebblacktux.com. Pain and Anger Comedy Podcast, after it's edited for profanity out. We'll be right back. I told you, if you let those goddamn dogs in here, then what happens is you become a dog gatekeeper. Some of them want to go out, some of them want to come in. And now you can't even be over here to answer that charge. Oh, that's nice. That sounded good. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I can't be here to answer that charge.
That's right. What's going on over there? Are there any more dogs in the studio right now?
Yes, Flyer's here.
All right. Well, he's so big and lazy, he's not going anywhere. I'm certain of it. All right. Are you back, Helen? Are you there?
I'm here.
Are you ready?
Here, darling?
Are you centered? Are you present?
I'm centered and present and...
All right, let's go. Maybe it was odd to start with the NCAA tournament instead of this this March blizzard we had. Hurricane storm. What was it? Sandy or Sylvia?
Stella.
Whatever.
Stella.
Mother Nature is definitely a woman. That's why they call it Mother Nature. Do you know why?
Why?
Because only a woman would make February feel like May and March feel like goddamn January. She's schizophrenic, Mother Nature is, Helen.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that snow out there?
Do you know why it's called Father Time? Because you guys take so darn long.
Can't make up her mind. She doesn't know whether she wants it to be winter, summer, and what a pain in the ass snow is as an older person. Mm-hmm. So,
as an older person, what did you like blow out your knee shoveling, Gramps?
No, but I mean, it's just it's as an I mean, not a child. Mm-hmm. It's not fun. The snow is not fun. Mm-hmm. We got small dogs. I had to dig out a place in the snow for the poor dogs to do their business. And I'm digging out their poop area in this blizzard, and I'm thinking to myself, who is the master and who is the pet at this point? They're sleeping inside the house in front of the fireplace. I'm building a custom bathroom for them.
Right. I mean, you just dug out a little bit, and what did they provide you? Endless amounts of love and affection.
That's right.
So tell me, honey, how you doing on this ketogenic diet?
Well, honey, I was hoping we could put off the ketogenic diet to the last segment of the show, but you know what? I'm a flexible guy.
Right.
Let's put that right. Let's move that right up.
Right on up.
Do you remember the question you asked? Do you remember the question you asked me yesterday about the ketogenic diet? What was the question?
Are you feeling any slimmer, sweetheart?
No, that's not the question you asked me. What was the question you asked me? Do you feel any differently?
Yes. Do you feel any differently?
Do you feel any different?
Yes.
And I said, yeah, I feel different. I feel pissed off. I feel hungry. I feel like the last 2 weeks have been 6 months. So, it's not a fun experience.
Right, but you've lost weight.
It works. It works. But, what I've learned about any diet that's the premise of which is no carbohydrates is that here's how to define carbohydrates in your life. Carbohydrates are anything and everything that tastes wonderful. God dang it. You can't have anything. You can have meat and fat and protein.
Well, I'm going to try a couple of recipes this afternoon for a couple of things that are hopefully going to be...
It's exciting, honey. Maybe we could start a new kitchen podcast.
Oh, yes. Cooking with Helen.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
Cooking with Helen. Everything that tastes good you can have.
Well,
It does work, though. And I get to pee on these little keto test strips, which is fun. It makes urinating kind of, like an exercise, like playing the lottery. Am I going to turn the stick the right color?
It's like a pregnancy test.
Kind of. Yeah.
Watch your fingers.
Anyway, so, yeah, did I answer your question about the ketogenic diet?
Yeah, I mean, you're just Mr. Keto.
It's very good. The whole premise is it's designed to devour your own body fat because it needs to convert that into energy because carbohydrates aren't there. And it sucks, but it's effective.
We both know what it's like to try and lose weight, and it's miserable. If somebody could provide a diet plan that is actually somewhat enjoyable, I think they would make millions off of it. I mean, just look at the diet industry in general. It's like all of these fads. I mean, I was at the nail salon today, and I guess Valerie Bertinelli now has a cooking show on the Food Network. And 15 seconds ago, she was on Jenny Craig looking like a skinny mini. And now she's a little plumper.
That's the problem. The rebound, the bang, bang rebound.
Yeah.
By the way, I haven't even mentioned it. Send your diet ideas to painangercomedy@gmail.com. Remember also you can get us on iTunes. And for those of you who are listening, if you can go over to iTunes and subscribe and give us a rating and write a review, that helps our standings. And I appreciate that. Please write a review. It doesn't have to be long. It just has to be glowing.
Right.
And in addition to iTunes, of course, you can get us on our own website, painangercomedy.wordpress.com, and we're also available now on Stitcher and SoundCloud and a couple other channels coming shortly as we take over not just the country, but the world, including still
Qatar.
Our great friends in Qatar. Hello again. I don't have the Arabic phrase in front of me, so I can't say hello and thank you, but thank you and hello in English.
Thank you.
All right. Did I answer your questions about whether I feel differently on a ketogenic diet.
Yes. I mean, basically, it's the same thing. You're just a little hungrier. You're just as grumpy. You're just, hungrier.
They should call it the miserable prick diet because that's exactly what it does.
Well, it just adds to your miserableness.
Yeah. All right, Helen, what was yesterday? Yesterday was a holiday.
Was St. Patty's Day.
Whoopity, whoopity, whoopity.
I'm Greek, so, I should just wear one of those shirts that say, "Kiss me, I'm Greek" all the time because,
There's a reason I said this show is about apathy, and we're going to run into apathy again.
It seems to be sort of the theme of today's show.
It does. And
today's show brought to you by the letter A. A for apathy.
Enough with the St. Patrick's Day. Kiss me, I'm Irish bullshit. Please.
Right. You barely like being kissed anyway.
Yeah. Everything with the green ties, the green beer, the drunkenness. Kiss me, I'm Irish. It's enough.
I don't know that it's truly any more a celebration of being Irish. I think it's truly a celebration of alcohol at this point.
Oh, and Helen.
Yes, dear.
Because I'm a student, I actually did research for the podcast.
Here we go.
On St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day.
See, you don't just get amused when you tune into the Pain and Anger Comedy Podcast. You get enlightened, enriched.
This is an educational podcast.
Yes, it is.
Right.
All right, St. Patrick's Day. And by the way, to you Irish out there, happy St. Patrick's Day. There's no reason you need to throw up all over yourself.
Well, I don't know that actually in Ireland that they're getting as bombed as we are here. I mean, it seems sort of like to become sort of an American thing where they're getting kind of crap-faced.
Yeah. Well, Helen, if you did your research.
Oh, boy, here we go.
You would know that...
I'm sorry, you make me come into these podcasts cold, so...
That hypothesis is not necessarily correct, although you're absolutely 100% right that in the United States, it's used not just by Irish, but almost anybody, as an excuse to get drunk on a weekday. Well, anyway, here's what I dug up on St. Patrick's Day. It does inexorably lead to the excess consumption of alcohol. And St. Patrick is considered the most recognizable of all the patron saints of Ireland. Mm-hmm. Although, Helen, did you know that St. Patrick was not even Irish himself?
Did not know that.
He was a Brit. He was from Great Britain.
Oh, well, look at that.
And he was, in a vision, was told that he should... he was in Ireland for a while and wound up somewhere else. And then in a vision, he was told to go back and walk among the Irish people. And St. Patrick returned and brought Christianity, Catholicism to the people of Ireland.
Did you know that the Irish actually get upset when you say St. Paddy's Day, Paddy, instead of Patty? Why
is that?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I had it wrong. It's the other way.
Exactly.
If you say Patty,
that's right.
They always say a patty is something you put between two hamburger buns.
That is correct. Also, Patrick in Irish is spelled Padraig.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. That's why St. Patty's is
so
with a D.
Smart, boobies.
Yeah, and I knew that without even researching it. Anyway, perhaps the most well-known story about St. Patrick is also the most inaccurate, where he drove all the snakes out of Ireland. This is a story probably made up by Irish who were hungover or suffering from the DTs. Because there are no snakes in Ireland. The water around Ireland is too cold for any snakes to have migrated there.
Dude, you just said it. He drove all the snakes out of Ireland, so there's no more snakes in Ireland.
No, there were
no.
That's cute. There were never any there in the first place, apparently.
You don't know that. St. Patrick was the man with his rod, and he shooed them out.
Did you with his what? His rod?
Yeah, his staff.
Okay, staff. So he had people working with him.
Like a big stick.
Okay, his rod, his staff, his big stick.
Yes.
The tradition of drinking on St. Patrick's Day, Helen, is that Christians are allowed to put aside Lenten restrictions on food and alcohol consumption.
Hey, the Pope let the Catholics eat meat this past St. Patrick's Day. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You're Catholic. You should know that.
Are you listening to the story?
I'm
Christians
listening.
are allowed on St. Patrick's Day to depart from the Lenten restrictions on food and alcohol.
No, they weren't allowed to until this year.
I don't know what the hell you're doing, taking authoritative positions on things you haven't researched.
I hate to tell you this, but Pope Francis.
I'm sure you're wrong about it, but if you want to look it up while we're talking, let me read to you from the research that I did on Wikipedia.com, the most reliable source. Christians are allowed to put aside Lenten restrictions on food and alcohol consumption on St. Patrick's Day, which is why excessive drinking has become so permanently linked to the celebration. Now, Pope Francis may have said, you can eat meat on Fridays, or I don't know. I don't know if there is a restriction for non-Irish people. But you're driving me nuts with your unresearched propositions over there, Helen. Helen, you got anything?
Where it's okay to eat corned beef on St. Patrick's Day this Lent.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And this is not from Wikipedia.
What did he say?
This is from the Catholic News Agency.
And what did it say?
And it says, if you're Irish Catholic or any Catholic living in the United States or abroad, you are allowed to eat corned beef or meat on St. Patrick's Day. Typically in Ireland, it is lamb or bacon. More than 80 dioceses this year have announced some form of dispensation on St. Patrick's Day.
Can we agree, however, that there was and always has been some sort of dispensation?
No, I hate to tell you, it was just this year. It started this year. So I'm letting you know that it started this year.
It did not start this year because you just said traditionally Irish use lamb or bacon. Traditionally. Do you know what that means?
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
You're not going to survive this podcast because you're pissing me off today.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone out there,
It's your sister's birthday.
including you, and happy birthday to Mickey, who does listen to the show. Happy birthday, honey. Birthday is on the 17th. Hard to forget because
I love you, Mick.
it's on St. Patrick's Day. Yes, we do. We love you very much. God bless and keep you. This is not a religious show, however, so at this point we'll dispense with the saints and the Catholic Church and what have you, and talk about something everybody likes to talk about. Helen, remember, this is a nonpartisan show. What are we going to talk about next?
Oh, man. Is this another Trumpsicle story?
Trumpsicle. This is a Trump segment. All right, we're not about politics here at the Pain and Anger Comedy Podcast, are we, Helen?
No.
Now, we're just going to talk about things that are funny. Now, I just want to remind you folks out there in podcast land, big fans of the Pain and Anger Comedy Podcast, I warned everybody in November after this guy was elected. What did I say? Do you remember? I don't want to play the tape, but I said a couple of things. I said he didn't plan on winning.
No.
He was going to be out of his depth. And I said, and this is the most important, this guy will provide endless entertainment. I have never watched, Helen, have you ever seen me watch CNN as much as I have since January 20th?
No, you're kind of obsessed.
I am kind of obsessed. You're absolutely right.
You're just a little obsessed.
But it's entertaining, right?
Right.
Like every chance the guy has to do something right, he will do something wrong because he is not equipped to hold office. He's equipped.
Right.
He's equipped to be a businessman and bully people around with the advantage he has of money and leverage. Totally fine. Totally great way of operating in business. But when you're an executive of a 3-branch government, you can't do it. And even now, the Republicans are kind of dropping away on health care and this crazy story about wiretaps, Obama wiretapping Trump Tower.
I just think that sometimes he really, he's one of the children that should be put on Twitter timeout.
Yeah.
You don't say the first thing that comes to your head. The good Lord provided us with impulse control.
Well, some of us.
And I think that his impulse control is really, really on low.
Yes, it is.
As you pet the dog over there.
Yeah. Flyer's still here. Like I said, too lazy to go anywhere. But go ahead, Helen. You make a good point there.
He really is. I mean, it's like somebody should take away his Twitter. He should not be. I always thought that the office of the president should be presidential. He's taking it like gutter style. He's going down in the trenches.
All right. Now, for our Trump fans out there, we're not talking about politics.
No, I'm just talking about how sometimes it just seems like he shoots off from the hip without thinking.
Apparently, I saw this yesterday on CNN somewhere. The people around him say privately and off the record that they just can't control the guy. That
No.
he's like a petulant child.
No, he is, and I can totally see that.
Yeah. So, but we love you. What
Trump
did you call him?
fans or non-Trump fans?
Trumpsicle. We love you, and good luck to the president. He's got plenty of time to get it right, but So
I do
far,
have
not
to
good.
say that one of the most amusing things about this presidency is the looks that he gets from other world leaders when he says something. I mean, there are times like Merkel yesterday gave him this side eye that was fierce.
Yeah, Angela Merkel, the president of Germany. President, is that what they have?
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister, sorry. Yeah, so he gets some looks. I get frequent looks like that from you during this broadcast, actually.
Oh, and in life.
Yes, and outside this
And in
broadcast.
life,
That's
you
right.
do, yes.
I'm familiar with that look. And she wanted to shake hands yesterday. He didn't want to shake hands. It just looks weird. It's a weird optical kind of
Someone said that
appearance.
he's like a germaphobe and he doesn't, he gets very OCD about it. So expect now all the world leaders will fist bump.
Yeah. Or maybe just a bro hug or something.
A bro hug would be like far too close. He might do a virtual high five.
The big news this week, of course, was that Trump refusing to get off of this wiretapping thing. And basically, when he was interviewed on Fox, he basically said, well, it's based on news reports that I've read.
Yeah, that's like saying, there are dragons and dragons are real because I read about Peter and the dragon.
And here, there's only one other thing I wanted to point out about Trump, and it is his freedom from ever being consistent on any position at all.
Yes.
When asked about the wiretapping, he says, well, the New York Times wrote about it. And then he said, well, not that I respect the New York Times. I call it the failing New York Times.
Wow.
But they wrote about it.
Wow.
Other people have written about it. And he hates the New York Times, but then cites the New York Times. And then Sean Spicer's not doing him any favors either.
I just think it's kind of sad in a way that he is, he's sort of crapping on all of the media in general. And it's like, when the president-in-chief, the representation of your country.
You mean the executive-in-chief? No, you mean what the hell is it called? Commander-in-chief.
The commander-in-chief. When the commander-in-chief is just ripping apart news sources, it's just like saying, I'm not going to play with you because I don't like what you say to me.
Yeah, it's been difficult first 100 days.
Right,
But,
and there's the freedom of speech that's involved. Lord, God bless the freedom of speech, because if there was no freedom of speech, my head would explode in this house because I just got to vent all the time.
He's got a lot of time to grow into the job. Let's hope he does, Helen. And remember, the Pain and Anger Comedy Podcast is
We're nonpartisan. We love everybody.
Is friendly to Trump supporters and Trump detractors.
We're pro-Trump, pro-Obama, pro-everything.
We're really just pro-listener.
Right.
We'll pander to you. Please give us a review on iTunes. Those of you who have listened consistently and haven't given us a review on iTunes, shame on you. If you have an iTunes account, please go and do that. That's my call to action to my fans out there.
Giving us a review.
I'm trying to encourage them strongly. I have a surprise for you, Helen, later in the broadcast.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be a fun surprise.
Oh, boy.
And
I think that you should let the listeners know that you don't tell me about what's going to be on the podcast ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
I come in cold every single week.
Well, you're busy out getting your nails done. So
Really? No, I have a real job.
I have production meetings. If you want to come to the production meetings.
Who do you talk to? Yourself?
Myself, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, myself.
You hold court in front of the 4 dogs like, hey, this is what we should do this week.
Yeah, and if you want to, provide input about what to cover, please, by all means. If you could even call me from the nail salon, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. Where are we now? I know where we are. Where do you think we are, Helen?
Is it time
It's time.
for the news?
Screw it!
Here comes the news.
Let's go to the news. This is the Pain and Anger Comedy Podcast News Brief for the week of March 16th, 2017. Earlier this week, a nor'easter dumped snow and 50 to 60 mile an hour winds up the U.S. East Coast, reducing visibility to zero in many places. Helen's making faces at me. The National Weather Service said that the monster storm placed about 18 million people under a blizzard warning. The Trump administration tried to put the number of 18 million citizens in context by having Press Secretary Sean Spicer explain, quote, it's roughly a third of the number of people who will be losing health care coverage under the new health care bill.
Ouch.
While candidate Trump questioned the validity of the monthly reports from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, The new president welcomed last Friday's better-than-expected report showing that the economy added 235,000 jobs last month. I talked to the president prior to this, and he said, to quote him very clearly, Trump spokesman Sean Spicer told reporters, "They may have been phony in the past, but they're very real now." Spicer added, quote, "The president prefers to see whether news is favorable or not prior to deciding whether he believes it to be real or fake."
Poor Sean Spicer. Like, he's got the worst job in the world, man. It's awful. I'd
needs-
rather, like, be a sewage waste management person than be Sean Spicer right now.
He needs medication. Quickly. Melania Trump's invitation for high-powered women to join her for lunch at the White House last week marked a coming out almost 2 months into President Donald Trump's term for a first lady described by her husband as, quote, a very private person. Now the former model is taking her first steps into her very public new role. The First Lady has made few public appearances and even fewer White House appearances. She says she prefers to reside in the First Family's Manhattan apartment with the Trump's young son Barron so that he can finish the school year there, and, quote, because being around my husband gives me the creeps. The Justice Department got an extension last Monday to produce any evidence that might support President Trump's as yet unfounded claim that his predecessor had wiretapped Trump Tower during the 2016 campaign. The House Intelligence Committee, which had asked for the materials by Monday, pushed the deadline to March 20th when it is scheduled a hearing on Russia's interference in the election. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said that the president was encouraged and confident that with the additional time, the Justice Department could conjure up sufficiently plausible fake evidence to support his claims. The White House Correspondents Association is preparing for the possibility that the president will reconsider his terse tweet from late February announcing he wasn't coming to their annual dinner on April 29th. Association President Jeff Mason said, quote, if President Trump changes his mind, he is welcome to attend the dinner. Although Mason offered few details on preparations for this year's dinner, he did offer the president some unsolicited advice, saying, quote, he might want to avoid tasting the soup or the salad. An American Airlines flight from Miami to Chicago was diverted on Monday to Jacksonville shortly after takeoff due to a soda spill, of all things. Matt Miller, a spokesman for American Airlines, told Jacksonville.com that a soft drink splashed on an electronic device in the main cabin, and Preston Wake, a passenger, said that a flight attendant fumbled a soda that soaked him. The city of Jacksonville issued a statement after the emergency landing saying, quote, we were happy to be of assistance at the airport. Emergency diversions and unplanned landings are the only way we get anybody to visit. Because, you know, Jacksonville's not a popular
place. Yeah, gotcha.
Destination.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Haha.
In business news this week, McDonald's Corporation announced it took its first steps toward offering consumers the ability to order and pay via telephone. The Oak Brook, Illinois-based burger giant started a beta test at 29 restaurants in Monterey and Salinas, California this week. It expands that test to Spokane, Washington next week. The local pilot tests are designed to get customer feedback and prepare the chain for a national launch of the functions later this year. A McDonald's spokesman said the program is, quote, designed to reach our ideal customers, people who rarely get out of bed except to sit on the couch.
Didn't we have a segment last week about why Americans are so obese?
We did. Now you can just order by phone.
Yes.
And finally, this week, Helen, in science news. You like science, don't you?
I do.
Not having children could result in a shorter lifespan, according to a study released Tuesday in the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health. The study found after reaching the age of 60, parents' life expectancy increased about 2 years compared to people 60 and up who never had children. Researchers from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden reviewed national registry data of more than 1.5 million people born between 1911 and 1925 and tracked them as they grew older. 90% of those parents over the age of 60 who were surveyed, however, said they would gladly give up 2 years of life to have saved themselves decades of misery as parents. And that's this week's Pain and Anger Comedy Podcast News Brief. We'll be right back. Okay, kid. Get to it.
We're sponsored today by Squarespace, and you should know by now that Squarespace is your best option when you need a website. landing pages, galleries, professional blogs, or just online stories, Squarespace has the hookup. You'll be able to design your site using beautiful templates and customized settings that work best for you. It's all drag and drop with easy to understand links and instructions. You don't have to be an expert. If you want to sell stuff, Squarespace gives you everything you need to track inventory, process orders, and send custom emails. And don't forget, Squarespace offers 24/7 customer support, so somebody is always online to help you out. Right now, if you sign up for a year, you will receive a custom domain for free. 0. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com. And don't forget, Squarespace, set your website apart.
Thank you, dear. You have a really nice radio voice. Did I ever tell you that?
Thank you.
The Pain and Anger Comedy Podcast resumes in just a second. You see, because we have your mics open and we have music running underneath, if you want to whisper sweet nothings into my ear, it goes over the music, and then I have to, edit it out.
Right. Please
God.
do share this with me.
God, St. Patrick, I beseech thou, help me keep my patience with this woman. In your name I pray.
Yeah.
All right, what's going on here now?
I don't know. You keep talking about some surprise you have for me.
Yes, I promised you a surprise, didn't I, dear?
You did, schmoopsy doodles.
And the surprise is here.
What is it? Oh, yes.
Actually, I teased this in the opening. You weren't even listening. I told you what the surprise was. I think I teased it in the opening.
There's a survey or something.
Yeah, relationship quiz.
Yes.
I didn't even. Here I am thinking I'm surprising you, and I gave the whole thing away to everybody right off the top. Let's have a relationship quiz, shall we, Helen?
Oh boy, here we go.
6 simple questions, and to have a little fun with this, you are going to ask me the same questions, probably next week's show. Unless I suspend you for a week or something.
Well, that's just really not fair, because then you could research the answers.
No, you'll see. You'll see how this works.
Okay.
Only you can know the answers. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll be on the hot seat next time you're here in the studio, if I ever let you in here again. Mm-hmm. Are you ready to begin, Helen?
Yes, dear.
All right, Helen, I'm going to ask you 6 questions.
Okay.
Your job simply to answer those questions as best you can about me.
Oh.
Yours truly.
Mm-hmm.
Your sweetheart.
Right.
Are you ready?
Right, Grouchosaurus. Let's go.
Question 1, Helen. What is the one thing apart from you that I would save in a fire?
The dogs?
I'm sorry, honey. Dogs can be replaced. What I would save in a fire, apart from you, of course, is my 1975 Flyer Stanley Cup autographed beer stein.
That's it. That thing should just die in the fire.
That's what I would save.
Uh-huh.
I would hope the dogs would make it out. All right, Helen, you're 0 for 1, but there's plenty of time to redeem yourself. Are you ready for question 2?
Certainly.
All right. His job, his friends, his hobbies, and you. Put them in order of priority for him.
Oh, boy. So we'll go with me.
Okay.
You said his job, his hobbies,
and friends.
his friends, and me.
Mm-hmm. So what comes after you?
His hobbies.
Okay.
Probably his friends and his job. Ding, ding, ding.
Excellent. I think I hear Coco crying. You may want to let her in for question 3.
Certainly.
Because next week, the next time I record this show, these goddamn dogs are going to be upstairs. I can't take the in and out. And let's go to question 3.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's do it.
What would he say is your most annoying habit?
He thinks I'm messy. So that would be he would think my most annoying habit.
You are now rolling, sweetheart.
They see me rolling.
You are 2 for 2, 2 of your last 2, and 2 for 3 overall. Yeah, messiness. And
I'm not messy, by the way.
being disorganized.
Whatever, I'm not disorganized.
The runners up to what is most annoying about you, and there's a long list here, is that you're a Pens fan and you like to watch bad television. Okay? Next question. What would you say is his most annoying habit?
He doesn't stop talking. Ever.
That's close enough, the judges say. Bitching and moaning is my most annoying habit, and of course, to bitch and moan properly, you must talk. So I gave you credit for that. You're now 3 for 4, I believe.
Right?
And 3 in a row. You ready for question 1, 2, 3, 4? Question 5, I think we're up to.
Let's roll it on.
All right, kid, you ready?
Yep.
Who would play me in a movie of my life?
Wow. Who would play you? I would have to say Walter Matthau, because in Grumpy Old Men, he was just like the grumpy, curmudgeon-y, sort of miserable person.
That, dear, is not even close. Walter Matthau and I really don't even have any physical resemblance, but I get where you're going with that. I get where you're going with that. I feel you. But who would play me in a movie of my life would be either Dom DeLuise.
You have no physical similarities to Dom DeLuise.
We have the exact same shape.
No, you don't.
Round.
No.
Or a bloated Zach Galifianakis. If Zach Galifianakis could put on 70 to 80 pounds, I think he could pull it off.
I think you're way off.
All right. So you are now, let's see, 3 for 5.
I think you should do it this week. I think you should answer the same questions about me this week.
All right. We can do that probably.
Yeah.
But thanks for taking away content for the next goddamn podcast, Helen.
Oh, I'm sure you'll spend time during the day figuring out more content.
Executive producing as we go. That's just beautiful. Question 6. What were his exact words when he proposed?
I don't even think you know this.
Listen to the silence. As my heart breaks, she doesn't remember what I said. Oh, how will I ever recover from this?
You would say, you said...
Helen, you don't remember, do you?
You said, I will love you forever. What did you say? I just remember us sitting on the couch. It was such a shock that I remember us sitting on the couch, and I remember you reaching around and slipping the ring on my finger because I wasn't expecting it at that moment.
The answer is I have no memory of what I said. I'm not even sure I asked you to marry me. And technically that may offer me an out right now from the show.
Now, Home Slice, listen here.
From this marriage.
Home Slice, listen here.
I kind of thought we just sort of understood it was going to happen, but...
No, because it was the day you were supposed to take me to the Penguins game. The Penguins lost in 6. You were supposed to go.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
that night you were so upset. Everybody in your family was like cheering for the Penguins. And the Penguins ended up losing and everybody was disappointed.
Right.
And I was like, there's something fishy going on here.
Because if they won, we were going to go to Pittsburgh and I was going to ask you in front of 16,000 people at the next game to marry me.
Right.
I see. So I must have asked something, but I don't remember.
Yeah, you did.
I don't remember what I asked.
You did.
All right. You're going to have to tell me whether I'm right or wrong, of course, now, in order for me to execute the proper sound effect, buzzer, and or bell.
Okay, sure.
Are you ready? I feel very weird. Now, I know it feels to come in cold.
You have no idea.
I really don't.
What is the one thing, apart from you, that I would save in a fire?
All right, excluding your child.
Right.
I would say your Penguins jerseys.
I have some photo albums of my parents that I would save.
Okay.
Ha ha.
Well, the good news there is the Penguin jerseys would turn into ash, which I wouldn't cry over.
No, you wouldn't.
All right, kid.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
I'm 0 for 1.
Her job, her friends, her hobbies, and you. Put them in order of priority.
Me, her job, her friends, and hobbies.
Nope. It would be you, my friends, my job, and my hobbies.
Yeah, I should have said that. Put the job one space too far ahead in the priority line. Good for you, Helen, that your friends and your husband are such priorities in your life? I wish I could say the same.
I think we covered the next two, sort of,
Okay.
the most annoying habits. I'm going to ask you, what would you think is my best habit?
Your relentless pursuit, despite you won't admit it, of making me happy and comfortable.
Yes.
Well, I'm 1 for 3 or 4 at this point. That's good.
Who would play me in a movie?
Tina Fey.
That's a good one. Yeah, I hadn't thought of her. She's Greek too, so yeah.
Goddamn right. Tina Fey. Because you look like Tina Fey.
Oh, do I?
I'm on a roll now. 2 for 4 or 2 for 5?
Right. Uh-huh. I don't know that we could do the last one.
Is this the last one?
What were his exact words when he proposed?
Yeah, we already took care of that. I have no idea, so I should probably lose. All right, so Helen, thank you for sucking content out of next week's show and putting it into this week's show. Anyway, honey, thanks again for making another week fly on by.
Like the Flyers flying on by. Actually,
go ahead, honey.
if you weren't cheering for the Flyers, what team in hockey would you cheer for?
Not the Penguins, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wow, going old school.
Yes, one of the original 6.
Just like you, one of the original men.
Folks, listen, thanks again for hanging in another week. The Pain and Anger Comedy Podcast. I'm CJ Haddock. You can reach me anytime. painangercomedy@gmail.com. Drop us a note. Remember, again, we're on iTunes, so please jump over there. Please give us a rating and write a review. The more reviews that are written, the higher we climb in the standings over there. You can get copies of our episodes anytime they're released on our website, painangercomedy.wordpress.com. We're also available on SoundCloud, Stitcher, and coming soon to several other services, including Google Play.
Wow, we're going big time.
Yeah, we are. We're going big time. That's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for giving us your time and your ears for this length of time.
Thanks for putting up with us, basically.
Yes. So for Helen Haddock, this is CJ Haddock, reminding you to stay angry.
Stay funny.
We'll talk to you next week, kids. Be good.
Bye.
Email me. Well, the Queen have finally arrived home. No, that's not right. They're right out of the gate.
By the way, when you call yourself Big Papa, it's a little creepy.
Yeah, well, that's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Helen, could you drink that water a little closer to the microphone, and we'll start another podcast called The Sounds of Helen Drinking. Glug, 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 glug. Where am I? Where was I?
Back when you cared about life.
Back when I cared about life. What the hell was that now?
I broke a pen.
You know what? Son of a bitch. It's like having children in the studio. It really is. Are you folks out there looking for a great wedding special event? No. Are you folks...
Are the folks looking for something?
Are you folks out there... Wait. Are you looking great... Wait. See, I tried to anticipate what the copy says, and it's right here in front of my big fat face. To which I replied, yeah, I feel differently.
Hungry, miserable, tired, cranky, and my response was, that's you every day.
Hey,
so.
if you could let me do the punchline, that would be good, because I'm the funny one.
Which he'll then decide whether or not are real, just like the news stories.
That's correct.
That's going to get edited out, I'm sure.
No question.